Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Camille Essick. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and critics connect. What I need you to do right now is hit that notification bell and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I'm also on YouTube working to build my channel. So I do need you to go and follow me there. I have a lot of digital products available on my website at CamilleEssick.com. And y'all, I would love to hear from you. Please send me an email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com. I am booked throughout this year, but y'all, my calendar is opening up for Q1 spring 2025, and I'm already looking at prospective guests. So if you think you may be a good fit, we'll see. We'll check you out. We'll vet you because we can't just bring anybody on here. I love my audience and I'm very protective of my audience. But if you think you may be a good fit for the show, send me an email. We'll talk it out. Without further ado, y'all, I have an amazing brother here. We're going to have an amazing conversation tonight. And what I need you to do is lean on that share button. If you follow the Speaker Podcast, then you already know how I feel about my Black men. I started my brand a couple years ago, Good Black Men website there, everything. And I did that for a little while. And then I began to open up my podcasting space because I wanted our brothers to have a safe space to talk about their feelings and experiences as well. And you can actually catch a full playlist of those conversations on my YouTube channel. So just go to Camille Essick on YouTube and you'll see all the different playlists. And there is one section labeled as Black Men and Mental Health. Also, we have some relationship things on there as well. Without further ado, Eynn Perkins is here. He's doing amazing things. I know him from church, and he's a comedian, but just a genuine person. And he is making waves there in Cobb County. Morehouse man, you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, Erynn, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be on, honored to be considered as one of the guests. Camilla's had everybody. I've seen her have everybody on this show. I'm like, ooh, she gonna call me one of them great days. And
What
I
they say
made
your
it.
name was in the wind.
My name is, I said, listen, and I made it today, so I'm excited about that. I think it's gonna be a great show. I'm looking forward to it. Like she said, if you haven't already, you need to lean on that share button, tag somebody, share it to all your groups, text it to somebody, then comment and said you did it, and we gonna have a time tonight.
Yes. So those that know you from a ministerial standpoint, but out in the marketplace, let the listeners and viewers know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I am. Everybody knows church side of me, but as it pertains to the market side of me, I'm a legal analyst at Cobb County government. I'm responsible for a lot of different things within state court, specifically as it pertains to misdemeanors. And so I work diligently there. But aside from that, I do a bunch of things, for the community. So I've grown up being a part of a community organization by the name of Great Shepherd Outreach,
Hmm.
and that's my godfather's organization. He still does that to this day. Gets up
Okay.
Monday and Thursdays, and he feeds people in the community. And mind you, he's in his 60s,
Oh,
like
wow.
well into his 60s, and he is still getting up early in the morning, packing his truck to go down into the community. So I've always had a heart for community work. And right now, what I'm working on is launching this nonprofit, which we'll discuss more about.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of been birthed out of me acknowledging the need, especially with Georgia being the lowest performing state for mental health awareness
Hmm.
and mental health resources, and just providing a space where we can really serve those who need change in their life.
Well, I did not know that. And one of my spaces within my podcast, I am a mental health advocate. So I definitely want to bring you back to dig deeper into that. But it also ties into our discussion on tonight, particularly with the Saving Our Sons initiative. And before we hop in that, I want to kind of give some context as far as what the demographic is experiencing there, particularly across citywide in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and just as us within the culture. We see a lot of Black boys that grow up without fathers. So, what have you seen down the road as far as long term, from a legal standpoint, the impact of not having that strong male presence in a child's life, particularly for young boys?
What I've researched is that the Georgia Department of Corrections released some data and records that report that um, majority of males that are arrested for murder and robbery fall between the ages of 17 and 21, which is crazy to me, right? So you
Mhm.
majority of the people that are arrested for really violent crimes
Mhm.
are in this kind of young adult age range, and so that's one thing that stood out to me, that to me is a direct result of men being not being given the space to grow, not being given the space or given the example to know how to do better. And so that's one. But then aside from that, 88% of homicides in Georgia are males. So majority of the people dying at the hand of gun violence, at the hand of violence in general, are males. And so a lot of times we focus on, victims, and we don't typically victimize our men because we expect the man to be strong. We expect them to be one who can carry the weight, and we expect them to excel in the weight that they carry. But the
Mhm.
reality is, our men need our support in every area of their life because that's what's keeping them alive.
Yeah, that's really good. Not in a bad way, but just the point that you brought out. And as you were talking, Erin, it made me wonder the perpetrators of such crimes. Do you believe it's there are roots of anger or wanting to be seen and validated, so then becoming affiliated with groups, maybe gangs, because they do want a sense of family or community, and even though it's not a positive outlet, it's some type of outlet, and it's some type of connection, even if it has negative consequences.
Yep, everybody's looking for love. That's what I say all the time. Everybody's looking for love, and majority of the men that have been exercised from their family are no longer a part of a community called home.
Mhm,
Many of these young men that encounter these types of crimes are exactly what you said. They find themselves connecting with the wrong group of people because that's family. That's big bro. That's big brother. And unfortunately, big bro may not be the best example for him, but
mhm,
he's gonna follow big bro because his father wasn't there, or he's gonna follow big bro because his pastor isn't there. He's gonna follow big bro because his leaders that the leaders that should be in his life, his teachers, that
mhm.
should have some sort of weight in his ability to make better decisions, they're not there. And so if you're not going to be there for these young men, I've always told people, if you're not going to be there for them, then you can expect them to go astray.
I understand. And so with you working in the legal, sector within Atlanta, Georgia, Erin, um, where do you feel like the ball is dropped? Because there's gotta be some disconnect between at home, school, and then within the legal system or the judicial system. Because we hear stories about, Fulton County Jail, nickname calling it Guantanamo Bay, and all of these things that are going on. So is there a point where the child is just like they're a lost cause, or is there a way, even in the late teen years, that we can turn these young kids around and say, "Hey, yes, I know you've made mistakes. Yes, I know you're affiliated with these people, but you still have other options," even when society or the system is already kind of pigeonholing these kids into the spectrum of you're just gonna be a criminal for life.
Absolutely. I think the reality is um, when you have no, like I said, you have no example. And what I've observed is that it's never too late to change.
Mhm,
And depending on when they come in contact and meet that person that's capable of shifting them to a positive direction, then at that point, that's when you can start to see that person turning and changing. It
mhm,
could happen at 17, it could happen at 21, it could happen at 25, it could happen at 40. It doesn't matter how old you are. We as society have to learn to give each other grace to grow.
mhm,
And I think that unfortunately, we think that after a certain age you ought to know better, when in reality, it's not up to us to determine the process and path that you're on and say when you ought to know better. Because the truth is, only God knows when you ought to know better.
mhm. And does that also come with exposure, giving the child,
Definitely.
exposure to other resources and opportunities? A lot of statistically, a lot of kids never travel outside the 285. They've never been outside of their zip code before. So in their mind, that world is what it is, not
Right.
realizing you have so many options, so many opportunities, but it takes one person to show them another option. And I think too, I've spoken with educators um on my podcast as well when they're dealing with kids and parents and the parent not showing up to PTA, you're just sending them on to school and just saying, "Oh, well, it's the teacher's responsibility," when there really should be a village mentality about this. So, what do you say to parents where they are dealing with a child and you see their son or daughter going down this path? What resources does your organization have to assist the parent when they're feeling frustrated and not knowing what else to do?
The biggest thing is we believe that you should affirm the potential until it progresses,
Mhm,
right? And so we are constantly working, and we're currently working on different affirmative um, packages that we can provide to parents so that when they go home, they can continuously affirm the potential within their sons, the potential within their daughters. And the reality is, many parents miss that affirmation piece, and we're talking to them
mm,
like they're our friend. We're talking to them like they're less than. If they make a dumb decision, then we're calling them stupid, or we're calling them less than, and they're
mhm,
not realizing that their words have power. As a parent, you have the ability to literally navigate the path that your child can take. I'm not saying that there are not some kids that will veer off from the path that you initiate, but you also have to be willing to go through this life, this journey with your children. You have to realize that it's
mhm.
not the same struggles that you had growing up. Some of these struggles are different, and I'm not in the business, and I've always told people, I'm not in the business of comparing struggles. So
Right.
when your children are coming to you with the things that they're dealing with, the reality is you need, and I suggest that you would impart wisdom into them and affirm them rather than tell them, boy, you have no idea what struggle is. Because the
Yeah,
truth is, many kids do know what struggle is.
they
It
do.
may not be their mother's struggle, it may not be their father's struggle, but they do have a struggle of their own and they need support to get through that struggle.
Absolutely. I think a lot of it has to do with social economic dynamics now versus what you and I dealt with at that same age. You factor in the age of information and technology, AI, the cell phone, which has tremendously shifted the trajectory as far as cyberbullying pressure. You know, we see these social media challenges, many of them which are also have a criminal element to them because they see this trend, well, if I do this, I become famous, money, because the influencer, we're in the age of the influencer. So I absolutely agree with that. And I understand your perspective. So going into what you're creating now with your inaugural gala, Saving Our Sons, it just looks like an amazing initiative. And I wanted to kind of give some backstory into what is the mission behind that. And that's why we're having that conversation and leading now into your inaugural gala. Tell us, first of all, what was your inspiration behind creating this initiative?
Um, in my job, I'm in court a lot, and so I think that sitting in court and constantly observing the amount of young men that stand before a judge really pricked my heart to see or to strive to see change
Mhm,
in our community. And so I began working with my team and connecting with them and talking about solutions that could really help protect the progress of our young men once they leave jail, once they leave, um, juvenile court. And so that was really what birthed the idea of starting Save Our Sons initiative. We're still working on, we're getting ready to do a clothing drive so that we can help get these young men the proper clothes that they need for interviews. And, also, you have no idea how a suit will boost the momentum and the perspective of oneself. And so we want to be able to be a blessing to those guys so that they make a better choice in life and a better decision for their future.
That's
So
awesome.
that's really where that started.
Okay. And then so from coming from the gala to now, what what is the gala looking to do long term beyond just that event? Like long term, what are some other um points there that you're looking to accomplish in the mission of SOS?
So in this within the mission of Save Our Sons initiative, we'll be doing a plethora of things from having a Wise Up program that I'm working diligently with one of my mentors and big brothers. We're working on putting that Wise Up program together for young men to participate in, and then of course connecting with other agencies that are kind of doing the work so that we can provide more resources, connecting them with how to get their GED program and other
Mm,
that we're taking care of for recently released offenders, but also meeting people in underprivileged schools. Because the truth is, if we can meet you at the school level, then we can avoid you going to court altogether.
yeah, that's really good because you hear about the prison, the pipeline, um, a situation, and I think that's really important, like catching them at ground zero early. I really love that. And so I was looking at some of your information online. So can you tell us a little bit more about when, where, and even some insight on the panelists listed for this great event?
Sure. So it's going to be 2150 New Market Parkway, the M3 Center. I'm really excited because the room is going to look amazing, but more importantly, it's going to be an awesome occasion. It's November 1st. It's in 2 days, and it's at 8 p.m. Doors open at 7:30. I'm excited because we're now at the point where we only have 20 tickets left, and
Wow.
so if you don't have your ticket, you need to get your ticket now. That's really important. But aside from that, the those that are being honored, we're honoring a judge, Judge Carl Bowers, who's been so instrumental in the lives of those who stood before him in his courtroom. We're honoring the Sheriff Craig Owens and his efforts in the community, especially the initiatives that he's provided to help those from the inside of the jail. And we're also going to be honoring Dr. Ilya Davis, who works so diligently at Morehouse as a philosophy professor, and he
Mhm.
also works as the dean of student affairs, one of the deans of student affairs. He's awesome. I know firsthand. Dr. Ilya Davis is a intellectual genius, and I enjoy having conversations with him.
Mhm.
Despite, let me say this quickly about Dr. Davis. You don't have to agree with him, but it's some insight there that's worth having the conversation, and I love
Mhm.
that about him. And then the last two that we're honoring Pastor Martin Jr. for obvious reasons, right? Like our pastor is killing the
Thebomb.com?
game. He's Bob.com. He's killing it. He's very, very active in the community as it
Yeah,
pertains to um, just giving back. We constantly do what we're doing with the food bank. We constantly do what we do as it pertains to, assisting people with rental help. He stood in the gap plenty of times. Um, and I know that firsthand. And so I definitely want to be honorable and honor him. And then furthermore, we're honoring 100 Black men of North Metro Atlanta.
love it.
That chapter is doing the work, and they've been doing the work for 30 years. So we have those are our honorees, but it doesn't stop there. Our keynote speaker is Wayne Martin,
Okay.
who's been a big brother to me. He's
Yeah.
constantly, been getting me together, but at the same time, he's been an example. And
Mhm.
I know that he has meaningful words to share that I think will prick the hearts of those there and will encourage us to be better and to do better.
Absolutely, and one of the things I wanted to do, immediately when I saw your flyer, I was like, "Oh, we have to talk about this. 1, to get the word out, 2, to get these, tickets sold and sold out." And although I cannot, physically attend in person, I wanted to show my support in some type of way by thus opening up my platform to you to, in some way, show support towards your event because I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I've told people, even those that are not on, I mean, that are not able to make it. I've told them, listen, we are charity. We take donations,
Yeah,
and so that information I'll be posting very soon about that on tomorrow. In addition to us launching brand new website, all types of things, and so I'm excited about this weekend. It's going to be great, and I mean, the sky is not the limit for us. We're going above and beyond.
absolutely. I really love this, and I definitely want to bring you back to continue this conversation just because um, I think it's important that we provide a space for our brothers to talk as far as
Yeah,
what they're dealing with their wellness, mental health. There's a lot of pressure that a lot of brothers deal with. They don't have the liberty as we do as women so much to talk about those things just because of societal and cultural norms, which I hate to say is a norm because it shouldn't be a norm.
right.
But to really break down those walls and communication. Also, if you have any other events that you feel like, hey, just let me know. I'll have no problem opening up my space to you to get those initiatives out there so the people can know about those things.
I appreciate that.
No problem at all. Before we wrap up this conversation, do you have any takeaways or nuggets that you would like the listeners and viewers, to kind of think about before you come back? And then also, where can people contact you on social media?
Okay, so takeaways. First of all, I want it to be very clear what our mission is, and you know, that is to protect the progress of those that have potential and that need support, especially young men and that are recently released from jail, and young men in school. But in addition to that, we're also going to be advocating for a series of things to progress in our communities. We've already begun laying out some solutions for the next 7 years. So this is not an organization, although we're brand new, we're not an organization without vision. We have an extensive plan to meet the needs of the community and to continuously advocate before our local government for the things that we know the community deserves
Mhm.
and we know that the community needs. That's the biggest takeaway. Also, you can meet me um, at Eynn Perkins on Instagram, Eynn Perkins on Facebook. But aside from that, um, you can visit my website, erinperkins.org. And then really soon we'll be releasing ppagency.org to the public, and you'll be able to go on there and see more about the nonprofit as well.
Awesome.
So that's our. And then last thing, if you want to give, if you want to donate, you can do that uh, directly to the nonprofit via Zelle or Zephy. You can do Zelle. It's info at ppagency.org. And Zephy, you can just search Progress Protection Agency Incorporated.
Awesome. And then also with Saving Our Sons, will you all have any social media presence like an Instagram? And the reason why I'm asking is because I want to follow and also be able to share with my listeners and viewers as well.
Yes, so very soon I'll be releasing, excuse me, I'm sorry, PP agencies. It'll be at PP agency, but I'll be releasing that on social media very soon. I've been reluctant to do it because to be truthfully honest, I hate the idea of starting at ground zero on social media since
Mhm.
it takes so long to build it.
Yeah.
But it is necessary for it to be separate from mine, and
Mhm.
so I'll be doing that very soon.
When you do, please let me know, tag me or send it to me. That way I can follow and then I can share accordingly um, on my timelines and such as well. So
Of course, yeah,
awesome. Thank you, Erin, so much. I really appreciate you jumping in. Y'all, I hope you all got something from this conversation tonight. I really appreciate it. This is a valuable information. If you haven't done so, if you are in the Atlanta area and you're able to attend, please go to Erin's page on Instagram, hit the link in his bio, get your ticket, and be there 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 2150 New Market for SOS Saving Our Sons. It's gonna be a beautiful event, and if you can be in the space, be in the place. Don't meet him there, beat him there. So, without further ado, be sure to join us tomorrow night, y'all. If you've been following my social media, you know tomorrow night is the largest virtual event of the year, Heart and Soul
Come on.
2024 is
Come
coming
on.
back. Now, Erynn, if you didn't know, every year I always do part two with the fellas. So
Okay.
um,
Come on. I'm down.
your
Listen.
neighbor's in the wind. Look, have to reach up and grab it.
Listen. Hold
Oh,
it.
I'm
Come on.
already looking for panelists. I may be tapping you. I'm just saying.
I'm down.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be y'all heard it here, people. I gotta record it. He said
Okay.
yes. It's legally binding.
First of all, I love Angela Wells. I keep seeing her name pop up. I love her
Yes,
so much.
she's
I didn't get to
awesome.
speak to you at church on Sunday. I just want you to know I love
Yes, Angela, Auntie Angie, she's phenomenal. Now we got a little beef. Now you know she's a hardcore Eagles fan. I'm shouting out for the Falcons. I told her you have to see me on the field. That's all I can say.
you.
But without further ado, y'all, be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe. Follow me on all the social media platforms. In addition, send an email to me. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night. It's going to be a phenomenal conversation. Hold on, sit tight, Erynn. Without further ado, this is the Speaker Podcast, the podcast where innovators and critics connect. You all be blessed, and I'll see you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It will be exclusively on YouTube, so I need you to hit that notification bell and subscribe because Heart and Soul will be exclusively on YouTube. Peace out. Bye.